Hi Gilmores, welcome back to my channel. I know I missed 2 days of these posts. Last week I was off because I was editing my new book, and we are going on submission soon. So please keep me on in your thoughts. Send me those positive vibes, just so that I hope this book finds a home, and definitely I'll let you know when it does. We're really excited. We have high hopes for this one, and I hope it finds a great home. But you're not here to hear about my publishing journey. This is not a writer tube channel. This is a cooking slash reacting to Gilmore Girls episodes channel, with sometimes thrift store hauls, you know, squeezed in once in a while for good measure. I do love my fashion as well. So if you're new here, please give this channel a subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you like these videos, please give it a like. And if you are a Gilmore Girls fan like I am, please interact with me in the comments down below. Today, we are going to look at episode 4, which is The Deer Hunters. If you have to ask me, this might be one of the more boring episodes of season 1. Again, this is the character building, showing the quirky town type of story, which is why it's it, it basically just tackles three things in this episode. It's Rory adjusting to Chilton, Suki getting a food review, which she doesn't agree with. It has to do with risotto. And third, it introduces a pivotal character in Lorelai's life. So we begin with, I think, a very iconic scene in the Gilmore Girls, which is buying stationery, going to the office supply store and buying supplies. I love the office supply store. I could go in there with one thing to buy in mind, and come out with an entire bag that I can haul on YouTube. That's what happens, especially when it's cute things. So let's start with that, with Rory and Lorelai.
Nobody demanded that you come.
Are you kidding? How often do you get to do things like this? I was thinking, while we're going crazy, we should get some toilet paper and a plunger next.
I'll just do this later.
No, I'm teasing. Come on, get that list of yours.
Okay. I need legal pads.
Got it.
Tons of pens.
Right.
Some number 2 pencils, 3 highlighters, an eraser, a staple remover, and a peachy folder.
You need 3 highlighters.
Yes.
Rory's take on this, that three of something. Definitely with pens. I have a lot of pens, because definitely one dries up, one gets borrowed, never returned, and the other, at least you still have one more pen, right? So if you are a stationery junkie like I am, that's what's gonna happen here. And I appreciate Rory's stance on this. Lorelai has a different way of thinking, skipping the beloved entrance theme. We then get to see Rory going to school, and we meet Max Medina for the first time. If you've seen my video tackling the second episode, which I will link down below, this Max Medina, the actor who plays Max Medina, actually used to be a different actor who is, I think, less attractive. For in this case, why am I saying in this case? Because, like I said, Max plays a pivotal role, and I think they switched up the actors because they want him to. I'm not going to spoil anything, but he plays a big role, and if you're a fan, you know what I'm talking about, which is why they had to change out the actors. And this is where we meet him for the first time, and we meet Rory being not so Rory in this episode.
Exceptional effort by 2. Stellar. Miss Grant. Mr. Graham. Miss Gilmore. Take these home. Learn from your mistakes.
So true. So Rory gets her first D. Okay, so for an A student, that is horrible. That's a horrible feeling. It's like getting, you know, getting your first 1-star review on a book that's been 5 stars from the get-go. So it's kind of that ouch, 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 ouch feeling. And of course, Rory is panicking. And we've already set up in the second episode where Headmaster Charleston actually told Rory that, she could fail. She could definitely fail. Catching up is not easy, especially if you are attending Chilton, which apparently is a really, really hard school. And I have okay, Paris, I get to get an A, but her friend getting an A, I'm like, well, I guess for her to be, I'm thinking the students who are average at Chilton are actually like the valedictorians of regular schools, if you really look at it. So for you to be above average would mean, like, yeah, the Harvard track, Yale track, Ivy League track kind of student. So I guess getting that D for Rory, who dreams to go to Harvard, is like that X in, a stab into her heart. Okay? And with Suki. So I find this really funny because, like I mentioned, Suki is like the maestro of food. So to get a review for her food is kind of that validation of what she does. So note what happens here.
Cry. Here we go. The words divine, delectable, and delirious don't begin to describe the delicious experience of dining at the Independence Inn. Oh, I'm smelling a rave! Really? Only Chef Suki St. James could make a simple salad of hothouse tomatoes and assorted fresh herbs seem like a religious experience. Her lobster bisque is worth every sinful, cream-filled, rich sip.
See, I don't use that much cream. I just use a very concentrated lobster stock, and it really makes
Suki, he's not here.
Okay, go on.
The entrees are as heavenly as the starters, though the much-lauded risotto is perfectly fine.
Parallels, right? Where Rory is used to getting A's and then she gets a D, so her face falls and she starts to panic. Same with Suki. She's used to getting compliments about her food, and if you notice, the review turns out okay, it's a rave. And then once the risotto, the magic risotto, which is mentioned a lot in this episode, which I want to try, by the way. What does magic risotto taste like? Notice that her face falls, and it's like, how someone would dare to say that my risotto is just fine? So it drives Suki crazy, like super crazy. So in this episode, it's really looking at Suki and Rory and how they navigate disappointment in their lives and how they solve those disappointments and make them wins. And for Suki's sake, it's a crazy solution. So we'll see when we get there. Parent teacher, Lorelai arrives late.
Gilmore, Rory's mom.
Glad you could join us. Rory's one of our new students.
How nice. Now, the AP test.
Right. Well, we are preparing them as best we can.
I've hired a tutor for Bethany.
So, as a teacher, I teach as well, and we've never had this where parents actually go and talk to the teacher. The only time this happens is with homeroom teachers when it's orientation day at school. So we don't have this kind of, in the Philippines, we don't have this kind of culture where parents are invited by the teacher and then they start talking about the curriculum. And the thing is, Max is only teaching English, so that's all they're going to be talking about. So do they meet every teacher for each subject and talk about how their students are, how their children are doing with that teacher, what the teacher plans? It's kind of intimidating. And how many times do they do this a year? So it's kind of that. It's like, for me as a teacher, I was like, oh. But I guess it's a thing they do in the States. If you're from there, if you're a teacher in the States, in the US, does this happen? Do you meet with the parents like this? Or do you just call them when there's an issue with their child and whatnot. So I would love clarification on that. As a writer, I would love to know if that is the culture as well, so that in the future, if I do have that in my books, I can mention it. Okay, but I don't know. As a teacher, I would be so intimidated just facing the parents the entire time during this, explaining my teaching method and whatnot. So here we get.
Not in my world.
I'm Max Medina.
Nice to meet you.
I apologize for the behavior of some of our guests tonight. It's a tense time for some people.
The SAT season.
The waking hours.
Explaining the obsession with Harvard and whatnot, tells an anecdote that Rory would be mortified that Max knows. The thing is, this is where Lorelai, besides flirting with Max, they're already setting up what's going to go on in the season between the two of them. It's that she finds out that Rory gets a D, and Max tells Lorelai about that, and Lorelai realizes she's been an idiot the entire time, not noticing her daughter getting that D.
I've got to go.
Well, I'm sorry if I said something to offend you.
Oh, no. It's just that if Rory got a D, she's not feeling too good right now, and I'd really like to be there.
I understand.
So, it was...
So it's that kind of, I want to stay and flirt with you more, but my daughter is in distress, so I have to go and try to fix that. So it's kind of that, it's like I should have realized earlier. I shouldn't have been talking about ice cream and shoe sales and whatnot, and instead paid attention to my daughter, who was clearly in distress, asked her what was going on. But I don't know if Rory would have told her right away, but at least you get an idea of how Lorelai can sometimes be in terms of her mothering skills. I think it also has to do with because they are best friends foremost. She doesn't pick up on those cues that Rory is actually struggling when she should be, which we see here.
Here.
What's that?
You look like you need pie.
I do?
Violent pencil tossing usually signals a need for pie.
I just carried them up. See, it's so nice to see that Luke was watching out for her, and I love Luke's relationship with Rory. It's almost like she is the daughter he never had, and if you're a fan, you already know in a future season what I mean. But it's kind of where it shows the fact that he brought her pie means that he's been watching her since she came into the diner, and that's just who Luke is. It's like sometimes he would rather be a hermit and stay away from towns going on, and he only really responds to people he cares about. But at the end of the day, he's still part of the town and he still helps out, usually with Lorelai's prodding, by the way. But it's just one of those sweet things that Luke does that endears me to him. And this is where Lorelai, and then so here they are already reviewing.
What rule is that?
I'm running the study session here. Okay, Richard III.
1591. 93? 96? Okay, that's getting really annoying now.
So it's like an all-nighter study session that is not going to end well. But I love how Lorelai sits down and helps Rory. My mother actually did this with my brother when he was in high school, where they would actually sit down and study for exams. And the thing about my brother is, just short note, is that he doesn't take notes in class. He just listens. So, which makes studying difficult. So my mom had to be the one to because my brother's an awkward guy. So she's the one who had to get notes from his classmates just so that he can study. But at the same time, he would still ace the test. That's the kind of guy he was. So I get I get nostalgic watching scenes like this because uh, I was the independent type, so I didn't need help when it comes to studying. I just did it on my own. But with my mother and my brother, this was their scene. They would stay up until midnight studying for an exam. And of course, they end up really late and they fall asleep. And
What?
I'm late! I woke up late!
All right, calm down.
I can't come down, I missed my bus! Get up!
Sweetie, Mommy can't get up right now. Mommy's been sleeping at a right angle all night.
so, panic mode. The same with episode 2 where Rory was like, we'll be late, let's go. And of course, important test, we'll be late, let's go. And the thing is, this is where the title of the episode comes from.
Check something and I can't find some of my notes.
Okay, hold on, let me check.
Oh my god!
Are you alright?
I just got hit by a deer!
You hit a deer?
No, I got hit by a deer.
How do you get hit by a deer?
I was at a stop sign and he hit me. Oh my god!
Yeah, only Rory will get hit by a deer at a stop sign when she's already in a hurry getting to school, right? And she's such a goody-goody rule follower that how long should you be waiting at a stop sign? It's not a red light. It's just a stop sign. So I don't know. If you live in the US, please tell me how long should you wait at a stop sign, because I don't think you should be holding a conversation on the phone. And I shouldn't think it would take that long to stay at a stop sign. So of course she panics. She's looking for the deer. She gets late to class.
Let's discuss this outside.
So I'm driving down this road and I stop and I get hit by a deer.
You hit a deer?
No, I got hit by a deer. You don't believe me? I've got antler prints on the side of my mother's car.
Rory.
Very important test, late for everything, has a mental breakdown. You know, it's that here. This is where you can see the pressures of being at Chilton catching up with her. And then back to Suki.
I found it!
You found what?
His bill! I found his bill!
What are you talking about?
It wasn't the risotto, it was the wine. He ordered the wrong wine.
Basically breaks down the meal. Imagine how obsessed you have to be to actually look for the bill of that one meal that happened a week ago. And I don't even know if articles come out that fast for a magazine. Shouldn't it have been a month ago? Maybe it was a month ago, but she mentions it was a week ago. So it's kind of that. And you actually see where this excitement leads Suki. Because it's not enough for her to let it go. She has to actually do something about it. And of course, Lorelai gets called to school. And, well,
I'm afraid I can't.
Well, that's not fair.
Ms. Gilmore, we're not here to be fair. We're here to educate.
Yes, and I'm asking you to please educate my kid.
We will when she's on time. Have a nice day.
Are you holding that door open for a reason?
Our meeting is over.
Like hell it is.
Lorelai.
okay, so Lorelai has a breakdown as well. And it really mirrors their how connected they are as mother and daughter and the way they react to things. Even if they have quirky differences, their reactions to situations tend to be very similar. And I love the way Lorelai stands up for Rory. And it really shows how much she loves Rory and that she would do anything, even call the headmaster Il Duce, just for her to get a chance to make this test up. And I love that. I love that passion with Lorelai. She doesn't do it with threats or whatever. She just tries to solve the problem. But of course, it leads to a breakdown also, which leads to her chastising Max Medina and chastising Headmaster Charleston. And of course, knowing Headmaster Charleston and all the parents that he had to deal with, it does not affect him whatsoever. So it's kind of, they go back and they realize, okay, so uh, they Rory and Lorelai come back to the Jeep and they realize they made a mistake and that, school thing is actually hard, but they will get through it. And then we move to Suki's solution to her risotto being fine.
Wait, I found out your address from my network of culinary friends,
Look,
and
this is really inappropriate. I gave you a good review. I suggest you go home.
I don't care about the review. I want you to try this dish with this wine. I'll wait.
Can you imagine if I, as an author, would go to a reviewer and say, I want you to read the book again, and then maybe change the situation you were in, and then probably change your review at the end? I'll wait. I wouldn't be able to do that. I swear. It's like I would have left it alone, but Suki wouldn't be Suki if she didn't obsess over a review of her magic risotto, right? So here they are, Lorelai, Rory, looking for the deer that Rory hit.
Studying that hard.
What are you talking about?
You're 16. You should get some sleep and eat a real meal and come up for air once in a while.
They kicked me out.
No, of course not. They love you. This is coming from me.
Are you saying I should quit?
I'm saying if you wanted to go back to your other school with Lane, that would be fine with me.
You don't think I can do it?
You know that's not true.
I like how Lorelai grounds Rory and how she really is. It's not just about you have to stay in this school. The school will be your ticket to Harvard. It's like if it's stressing you out too much and you are forgetting to be a teenager, then if you want to go back to your old school, that's also fine. And I love that. I love that Lorelai gives Rory that option because most parents wouldn't do that. A lot of parents would be like, you're in that school, you make it work, we expect good grades from you. And sometimes that kind of pressure leads to so many negative reactions from students. Only a very few can take that kind of pressure and blossom from it. A lot just get beaten up and spit out and they just can't handle it, and sometimes they rebel against it. So here, I love this interaction between the two of them because it gives Rory that choice, but at the same time, it allows Rory to stand up for herself and say, you know what, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna conquer this challenge. I will, and it actually leads to her becoming so much better. And I almost spoiled a part of the 5th season. So anyway, but yeah, it is a beautiful, or 4th season, yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful way of how Lorelai parents Rory and how she, says it's okay. If you want to go back to your old school, it's also fine. I'm not going to judge you either way. And, that always leads to Rory making the right decision. And of course, we get back to the house.
We have a life, get over it.
Hi, this is a message for Rory. It's Max Medina calling. I just wanted to say that I talked to Headmaster Charleston, or Il Duce as he's more affectionately known in the Gilmore household. And he's agreed to let you do some extra credit work to help make up for the missed test today. Now, I'm not sure what the extra credit work is yet, but it probably will be time-consuming and extremely painful. It will, however, get you back up to where I think you rightly belong, Rory. Don't lose heart. Make this work. And if your mother's listening, Lorelai, it was a pleasure encountering you. I hope it happens again. Anyway, see you in class. Bye.
Flirty, flirty. I don't know if it's appropriate. I guess it works for a TV series, but in real life, teacher flirting with mother. Ooh, that I believe that's frowned upon in a lot of institutions, isn't it? But of course, we know what's gonna happen. If you're a fan, if you've seen the series, you know what's gonna happen next. So thank you so much for watching with me, watching episode 4 with me, and breaking it down. I hope that you were able to see a little bit more of the character development in Gilmore Girls, i.e., Rory and Suki, and the way that they handle things when they get disappointed. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please give it a thumbs up so that I can continue making it for you. I'm having so much fun, and I will see you in episode 5. That will be on Thursday. I promise I will post it on Thursday. See you then. Bye.